Hey everybody, Robert Wilson here from the BrandTastic Podcast. I just had the privilege of chatting with Jon Gallo from the Result Boxing and Fitness in East Brunswick. They do an amazing job over there. They help children and adults get fit and a lot of other life lessons that you'll get in the podcast. He's a wealth of information, great guy. He's, I think you'll get from the podcast, he's a no BS kind of guy. He likes getting to the point, but at the same time, he's very compassionate, very empathetic person. So I hope you enjoy the podcast, and let's meet Jon. Welcome to the BrandTastic Podcast with your host, Robert Wilson. Hello, everybody. We have Jon Gallo here today from Result Boxing and Fitness in East Brunswick, New Jersey. How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic, Rob. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, no, my pleasure. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yep.
I've met Jon. My son Jacob goes to your training. He does personal training with one of your trainers, and it's interesting. He was one of those kids who did not like at all organized sports, and it was very difficult to get him kind of involved with anything athletically. I mean, we've tried for like 5-6 years. Then we're walking through the mall. It's like, Jacob, would you want to try this? And he looks at it, he goes, yeah, I'll give it a try, right? Yeah. And I got to tell you, he loves it.
That's awesome.
He loves it. I mean, a kid who didn't like athletics at all, coming into your place, and he likes the hard workout. He likes it's a hard workout, by the way.
Sure.
You want to tell us a little bit about about Result Boxing and Fitness, and how you turn your passion from fitness to a career choice, because that can't be an easy road, to go through.
Absolutely. I listened to what you're saying. To me, right away, it means so much. The fact that you were walking through the East Brunswick Mall, and that your son wasn't really into any sports, and that you looked at our gym and just said, hey, want to give this a shot? You just helped me make some great marketing decisions. I mean, honestly, my purpose in building these studios is to make them very attractive and comfortable. We want a studio that people can just walk into and feel like they're at home, because we're there and we try to make you feel very comfortable. And the actual studio itself is not intimidating. It's inviting, actually. So I really appreciate sharing with me how you guys became members. And, working with your son is amazing. I mean, he's incredible. And to see him go from being shy on his first day to now being very confident. And that makes us feel grateful that we're doing our job, and we're serving a purpose for the community and for young adults and even for adults.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you guys are, one thing I like about your whole marketing, it's not really marketing. You're just kind of part of the community, and I see you on the different boards, on the local boards, promoting the business, but that's really what you're drawing from. You're kind of drawing from testimonials and referrals, and not really too much of the traditional fishing type marketing. It's kind of your results kind of speak for themselves, and I think it's wonderful. And would you say that Result Boxing and Fitness is one of the philosophies, is kind of make it more of a family type of thing? Because I know you have the drop-ins now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. We just completed an expansion where we doubled our size,
which is amazing. It looks amazing. It's pretty impressive. You have to go see it.
So I'll tell you where that came from, right? Sure. When we have classes and we have 20 kids out there, and you have all these parents sitting around watching, I love looking at people. I love watching people watch people, because there's so much I can learn from them.
Sure.
And when I see the parents, I always want to make sure that I know who they are. They know who I am. I know about them. I know about their cat, their dog, their children. So, we always have some deep conversation, because truly we care. Everybody who walks in there, you have to realize, Rob, I mean, I'm there from 6:37 in the morning till 8, 9 at night.
Yeah, you're all that.
So, we're there a lot of hours, and that's my home. I mean, I'm there more than I'm home. I go home to sleep. So the people who come in there are my family. And as you know, it's a family-oriented business. My daughter is always there training. My wife's always training there, so this means more to us than just a business. And when I start to talk to people, I talk to them about their health. And I'd say, so where do you work out? When do you work out? And just being in the industry for so many years, you hear a lot of the same answers. I don't really have time, but I want to and I should. And I would hear it so much. And I start to think to myself, what can I do here? What possibilities can I create to help not only the children or the adults that take classes, but their parents and their sisters and their brothers and their cousins? Sure. And I said, man, if we can just get some more space and we can build an actual gym facility, they can just go work out. And now they can't give me that I don't have time excuse anymore. They can't. You can't tell me you don't have time. You're here.
No.
So now every time I see them, I go, make sure you bring your workout clothes. Right? Don't forget your workout clothes so you can go work out. And I don't want to charge them a membership because I don't feel like, I mean, listen, I've been in that business forever where we charge memberships for gyms, but this is different.
Yeah.
This is more of a studio where we instill our values. It's more of a personal training studio.
Sure.
So I feel like it's a bonus that I was able to add that space and it was available to me. And that if they want to use it, it's not forced. They don't have to continually pay for it if they don't. My thought process is, hey, you want to get a great workout in? Man, just drop a couple bucks in the donation box and go work out.
Yeah,
and as you know, we do tons of parties for the families and the kids, Thanksgiving and Halloween. We have it catered. We cook food. Members bring food. So, all that stuff's not cheap.
No,
and,
absolutely not.
This is our source of revenue and how we make a living. So we truly believe in reinvesting and giving back a lot. And every little bit helps.
Yeah, no, you guys absolutely do a great job doing that. And now I don't have any more excuses. Like Jacob used to go work out. I used to take a nap outside in the chair. Now I can go get a workout in, which I will this weekend, by the way. So you'll see me there.
Yeah, so you're always working out because I follow you and I love that. And I love the fact that you work out with your son.
Sure.
So we do a lot of family programs.
Yeah.
But the second part of that is people come there and they work from the mall. So they'll bring their laptop or their phone. And I'll tell them, listen, if you're working on your phone right now, go on a treadmill, go on an elliptical, sit on the bike and work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Burn some calories so both of you can walk out sweating and feeling good and share those endorphin highs,
Yeah. And I got to tell you, there's no better way of spending time with your child, in my opinion, than working out.
I see that in your posts, and I really appreciate that, and I admire you for that because that's quality time. And I say the same for my daughter. Now, my daughter hates to train with me because she always wants to do her best, and she always feels like she can do better, and I love that about her.
Right.
So I try not to be as strict as I should.
No, I know what you're saying.
I make it fun.
Sure.
And I love spending time with her in that fashion because I'm helping her grow. I'm molding her, and you know what? She's teaching me, and I'm learning from her.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's
absolutely. I mean, working with her and everyone I work with has helped me develop. And I know you mentioned development, and wow, over almost, I'd say over 25 years, I've been in this industry and worked with thousands and thousands of not only clients, but professionals.
Oh, really?
Mentored them and been mentored. And talent development has to be my favorite part of the industry. Working with other professionals, helping them develop, teaching them what I know and learning from them.
Right.
And everybody has something to teach me. I feel if I don't walk away from a conversation learning at least one thing, then I wasn't effective and efficient in listening to what you had to say.
Yeah. Now, touching on that, as far as, mentoring, having mentors, I always joke around with people who are in the corporate world that, there's a blueprint for them. If they want to be a lawyer, you do good in high school, you go to a decent college, you go to law school, there's a blueprint. You take the bar, you pass it, then you kind of fine tune it from there. There's an absolute blueprint for something like when you have a small business or you're an entrepreneur. There's no blueprint. You gotta you don't have that built-in leadership team like in a corporate world. So how much has personal growth been a part of your success, and how do you seek that out?
So that's a very lengthy question.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you asked that. And we can probably write a book about that whole topic, honestly.
Sure.
But, to sum it all up, I'd have to say it's a process. And the process starts off when you're young and you're learning, right?
Sure.
So you see what you like. You have that awareness of where you want to be, that you think, and you have that goal that you try to focus on. And what happens is, as you try to reach that goal, there are so many different paths that come at you, and you change courses, and you try to develop and become better every single day. And becoming better means being a better student, learning from your experiences,
right?
Recognizing opportunities, creating your own opportunities. I mean, nobody ever hands you anything. I don't believe anyway. I mean, it's either given to you by the universe or you've created it some way or another. But, my personal development, I mean, I always want to be better than I was yesterday. Mm-hmm. And that's in every capacity. That's mentally, that's physically, that's as a human being. Taking the focus off yourself too helps a lot.
Sure.
And these are all things that you learn as you get older, and you
that's
kind of get beat up.
Right.
I mean, I've been beat up so much in business, and I've worked for so many different companies, and I've owned so many different companies, and I just have so much experience that I'm grateful for. And the fact that people put trust in me, it forced me to be better, because I never wanted to let anyone down.
Yeah.
So I always tried to find ways to be better at what I have to do and how I can make a bigger impact for others on a large scale. I mean, it starts off small. When you're young, you're narrow-minded and you think about yourself. And I feel as I've gotten older, I take that focus off of me and I start to put it on others. And then even that's small, like personal training, you're working with one person. Then you do some group training and you're working with a small group.
Sure.
Now my mindset switched, and I had wrote 2 books so I can reach out to, people across the world. And now we're doing podcasts, and we're going to be doing videos. So taking all that knowledge and experience and creating a result quickly, efficiently, effectively, safely, that's what it comes down to, is taking all your experiences and being able to transfer those skills to somebody else and achieve results is probably the success story that everybody wants to have in the end.
Yeah.
I know when you made a difference.
It's interesting. I went through a phase where you could see, like, I read a lot, but I felt like at one point I was learning but not implementing. And that kind of sounds like what you're talking about a little bit. You took all your knowledge,
right,
and then you just kind of give it back, and you said, all right. I even took not that you ever stopped learning, I took a learning break before, whereas like, I'm not going to learn anything new until I start implementing the stuff.
Right. And you know what? Think about marketing too, right?
Yeah.
Anybody you start to follow, not anybody, but a lot of people, they're constantly producing content because they want to keep selling you or leading you along. But if you don't stop to implement and have that accountability, you're a forever learner. And I know kids that, have went to school and continue to go to school and continue to go to school and continue to go to school and never want to face the reality of the real world because it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
And, there's a lot of fears out there of failing.
Right.
Yeah, so
you might find out you're not as smart as you thought you were, right?
and that's part of life. And if you can learn from those experiences and be better the next time, that's really what it comes down to, right?
Yeah. I do believe it's in certain people's DNA to kind of go the route that you've went.
I agree. Yeah. It's not for everyone.
Because it's a lonely world sometimes, you don't have those colleagues to check it up on you or say, hey, I see that you're a little off today, everything. It could be lonely.
You can create that, right?
Yeah,
so throughout my career, I've worked with some of the largest organizations. I mean, I've worked with UFC Jim and the CEO hand in hand. And, I like that because, again, I love to live up to my reputation and I love to exceed expectations.
Sure.
So when somebody brings me in and says, hey, we've heard about you, or we need you to do X, I want to do X, Y, and Z because I just feel like I can, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's just give it the best shot we can give it and succeed in all levels.
Right.
So I always try to put myself in a predicament where I have to perform. And you have to bring good people around you. You have to put yourself out there in order to live up to those expectations, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When you mention you have to put people, good people around you, one thing I noticed, your staff is great. I didn't know that your daughter worked with you, but the trainers, Jacob had a few trainers over the years.
Yeah.
And they all been really solid. I mean, are they all trained in boxing and typically?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So throughout the years in the fitness business, especially with private training, you would find that some trainers are fantastic and they can train, but they don't know how to sell and satisfy the customer.
Sure.
That part of the business wasn't there. And then you'd have the other ones who were fantastic salespeople and they can sell anything, but then they couldn't train. So it was very difficult. And seeing this over the years, I would see where all the gaps were. And part of my talent development plan would be finding their strengths and their weaknesses and then helping them to be better at what they do. And that's why I think that, when I find somebody with some raw talent, I can teach them the skills. I can't teach them the will. They have to have that will to learn and work and the want and the desire. But I can teach the skills. The transfer of skills, I don't want to say is the easy part,
Sure.
but it's the part that you can do. So when you find that one person that has the will and they have what it takes, you can work with them and mold them. And it doesn't always work out, but you do the best you can and you just keep pushing forward.
Yeah. And a lot of the people that the trainers that work for you, like anything else, Jacob had one trainer that went back to school or something in Rutgers. So that must be exciting for you to see them grow. I think a lot of people don't understand is like when you hire somebody, sometimes you want that person, maybe not to even work for you forever, to go reach their dreams. And I think when you do that, you always have solid employees. You know what I mean? Because they're they'll go to whatever their next level is, whether it's teaching into some type of even other field that's related to athletics.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like to be very transparent in the beginning. I always look for somebody almost as a lifetime partner when I bring them in.
Sure.
And what I mean by that is I like to be very clear on where we're starting from and where we're going, and then how I can help them get there. Because the greatest gift I can get is to see somebody that works with me succeed. I know it's very lonely at the top, and my the best gratification could be to help somebody win. And you can probably talk to anybody I've worked with and ask them if that's the case. I mean, have I been supportive? Have I given them the tools they need? Have I looked out for their best interests?
Sure.
I mean, if I don't do all those things, I don't feel like I can sleep at night because I don't feel like I've done what I'm supposed to do.
I think it's great when you have a business, anybody can go to work every day, right? But when you actually have a purpose, and you have a purpose not only to your employees where you can kind of mentor them, but also to the clients, giving kids confidence and teaching them even simple things, how to work out, what it feels like to work out. I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand that. That's why they give up. They're sore the next day. They don't understand it's not an injury.
Right.
You can work out sore.
Absolutely.
And I know that you have a part of the philosophy at Result Box and Fitness is the anti-bullying kind of campaigns, I guess. Would you call them, or what would you call it?
I mean, it's it's not campaigns. It's just addressing an issue. I'm hands-on, so like I answer my phones all day.
Sure.
I answer the emails. I'm very hands-on because I like to know what's going on. And Rob, I have to tell you, I'm concerned. I mean, the last month alone, I've probably had 4 or 5 calls from parents
Really?
that are very concerned. And here's the problem, Rob. They don't know what to do because they've been to the school, they've asked for help,
Right.
and they're not getting the help that they need. And we're backed up. I mean, we have we don't have any openings, and I create the openings. I mean, sure. I'll double up. I'll do whatever.
You're very flexible, by the way.
I have to be. We have to accommodate people's time. We respect people's time, and we demand respect from people.
You do.
So don't show up late.
Right.
Don't not call or just miss a session. It's unacceptable. I'll fire you.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah.
I will not work with you. If you're not serious and want to learn, because there are so many people out there who need our help.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm trying to do more on podcasts and videos so that we can reach to a greater audience, because it's such a great impact, and we are making a difference, not only in the lives of the young adults, but the adults. I mean, the parents who come in and start talking to us, I feel like I have to mentor them, or at least be empathetic to this situation and try to help them and navigate through those waters,
right?
Because it's not easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's very difficult to watch your child have a situation that you can't really do anything about in a way at school. So you have to find a different avenue to help them. And that's why they come to us. They say, listen, my child, has an issue. How do we fix this?
Right.
And, we'll talk about the issue and we'll see what it is and how it happened and why it happened. And, I do a lot of speaking to the children and the parents. I'll sit them down and I'll have a conversation and say, hey, tell me more about this. How did this happen? How do you think you could have handled it better?
Yeah.
It's so much more than just putting your hands up.
Sure. Because you don't want to escalate the problem. You want to de-escalate, but you want to have the confidence that...
Well, and using your words. Like my daughter's 9, and ever since she's started speaking, I explained to her how important communication is, right? If we're able to use our words, not only to be affectionate, to improve our business, right? To make others feel amazing or make them feel terrible. Sure. Our communication is so important.
No, it is.
And when we teach our children and adults how to voice their opinions in the proper way, it can solve so many things. And I think that's the issue we have in the world today is communication should be so much more on the top of the list, so much more of a priority.
Yeah. Somebody once told me years ago, words are powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no doubt.
Right.
And also how you communicate, right? I mean, I can say something to you the same way 5 different times and you'll probably feel different each time I say it because of how I say it to you. So the way you serve that language and communication is important too, right? And then let's face it. I mean, if it doesn't work, and it doesn't always work, things escalate quickly. We have to give those kids the opportunity to be able to defend themselves and not put themselves in a situation where they can be hurt, injured, or even worse than that.
Yeah.
So, we take it from every extreme from, let's try to talk this out as best as we can.
And that's where I think when you talk about the family, it's a family type of business, not only with your family, but you're including the family in the kids' fitness. And it's not just about fitness. It's almost like what the martial artist philosophies are, right? And it seems like you guys are not just talking about it, you're
implementing.
Yeah, implementing.
I mean, it's part of, when you think about what we want to be known for and why we're different, right? You think about being unique. You have to over deliver and under promise in every way. And, anybody can open a gym, anybody can go buy heavy bags or boxing bags or mats. But it's the experience over the years that you have that you're able to share. It's getting the results you're trying to get quickly and effectively and making it fun.
Yeah.
I mean, results boxing, we try to make fitness fun so that you can learn while you're enjoying learning. And that I think is super important. Talking about our core values like integrity and authenticity and respect.
Yeah.
I asked the kids to define those words for me, and we have them hanging all on our walls. And if they don't know them, they have to look them up and they have to understand what they mean. Because when you walk into our facility, and I'll give you a perfect example, I have a 10-year-old boy who's a black belt in karate.
Oh, wow.
Okay, God knows what they paid for that, but we try to transfer those skills to boxing, and we were able to. And he was extremely respectful and the nicest little boy. And I mean, I was like, this kid is amazing. And then he finishes his session. He goes over to his mom, and he's a devil, like nasty.
Oh,
and
wow.
mean.
Yeah.
And I called him over. I go, excuse me.
Yeah.
Do you know what the word integrity means?
Right.
And we just have a conversation, and he was shocked that somebody said anything to him.
Yeah.
Because his mother didn't know how to handle him, and he's just a little pain in the butt, and he's disrespectful. And I'm like, hold on a minute, something's not right.
Yeah.
So you have to make that connection sometimes because there's no handbook. I mean, when I had my daughter, they didn't hand me a guide out of the hospital and say, here's how to raise her for the rest of her life and yours.
Yeah.
So we kind of create that guide as we go along. And, we steal a little bit here and there from other people who've been successful, right? Reading a lot of books.
Sure.
I love reading. I love listening to podcasts.
Right.
I love watching movies, especially with my daughter. I mean, if you ask her about like my YouTubing, I mean, I like to get to the point real quick. So I try to find whatever I'm looking for on YouTube. And, that's pretty much all I watch is YouTube and listen to podcasts and read books. And, she goes, "Oh, Dad, not YouTube again." I'm like, "Come on, just one sales clip, 5 minutes." I'm like, "Then we could role play." I mean, she's 9. We drive to 2 hours in the car and we role play for 2 hours. And it's her asking me, not me asking her. Yeah. So I kind of enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm always on YouTube reading books. And if I'm not, I feel like if I'm not learning, I'm wasting my time sometimes.
Learning and then implementing that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. But
I agree. Give it to me quick.
What's great about Result Boxing and Fitness, I can't think of another place that does what you do, really, like on that level of, I mean, it's tough finding a way to get your child active when they're not into traditional sports.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah. First I got them into weightlifting, but I wanted them to learn something. And to be perfectly honest with you, to what you said before, is like, you don't want them to lift up their fist every time there's a conflict. But at the same time, it's nice to know that your kids know how to throw a punch, because I watch these, Instagram reels, seeing these fights, and nobody seems to know how to throw a punch these days.
Sad but true.
Yeah. So I know you guys at Result Boxing and Fitness that you work with a lot of children, but you also work with adults, and I don't think that's as many people know about that, how much you do with adults. Do you have any success stories that
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the funny thing is we started with adults.
Oh really?
I didn't think much about kids, and then it turned into such a great kids program that kind of blew up. I mean, so the adults have taken a back seat in a way, because I love to focus on the kids, and I feel like I make more of a difference. But that's not true. I mean, we make a difference in everybody's life. I'll give you 2 quick success stories of personal clients of mine. I'm going to call her V. She's amazing. She's probably well into her 60s.
Wow.
Had a couple of surgeries. Wasn't even able to get out of bed. I mean, very weak. She was very depressed, overweight. She started coming in 3 days a week, half-hour sessions. And I mean, we started slowly from the ground up, focusing on her core, her endurance, her mobility, all the things you need in life just to kind of function.
Right.
And then we started to work on strength. And I mean, within 6 months, I'll never forget her testimonial. She literally was crying, saying that for Christmas time, she was able to climb up on the ladder and get her decorations off the shelves and decorate the tree. I mean, the impact that it had on her life and her family, right? Because her family was so happy for her, and to have her back on her feet. I feel like we played a big part in that, and that's how she feels. And she made me feel that I made a difference in her life.
Wow.
And if I can make a difference in just one person's life, that's amazing. But if I can make a difference in so many people's lives, then it's a blessing that, I'm grateful for.
And you're absolutely doing that. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of their back issues and all that stuff could just be work out.
I mean, we talked about personal development, and throughout my life, I always wanted to be better. And later in life, I went back to school to become a therapist.
Right.
So
right in East Brunswick. Right?
Yeah, right. In East Brunswick. Yeah. I mean, my teacher is amazing. He became a personal friend of mine. We talk about business. And, we see each other all the time. Yeah. And again, I always love to learn constantly. So I'm going back for more education, and I want to provide as much as I can. And that's that'll lead me to my next client. We'll call her O. Probably again in her 60s, and had sugar issues. Right, her sugar was very high. Doctor said, "Listen, you need to take care of this and fix it, or you're going to have some serious problems." And when you exercise, Rob, your body craves different things. So she started eating better. She started feeling tighter. She started working out harder. And facts don't lie, Rob. I mean, the results showed her numbers went down. She was so ecstatic. And we have the testimonials on our website, and it's like the coolest thing to see that you really made a difference. Sure. And I mean, all these memories that come back to me of people that I've helped. You know, when my day comes to an end, if I can look back and have all these stories and talk about them for hours, then I feel like I've been successful, you know, and I was able to make a difference in the lives of many other people.
Yeah, no, and that's part of your legacy, and you're creating it with your work, which is great. Yeah.
And my family, you know, like I said, my daughter is 9 and she sees what I do, how I do it, and that you have to work hard, that nobody gives you anything, but you have to work smart, and you also have to have balance in life, right? That work-life balance is important, and she comes first and my wife comes first.
Yeah.
But, you know, our business is what puts food on the table, and it's what, you know, gives us quality of life. So there's importance to all of it.
Yeah.
And having that balance is important. So I try to educate her, and even our students, you know, we talk about that kind of stuff, and the parents, just, you know, how we got into this and what it does for us and how it changes our life and how we incorporate our social life into our business, right? Saturday nights, most people are going out. We're doing sleepover parties and pajama parties and movie nights for kids. And the parents come and hang out. So, you know, we tie it all together. And that's why I love Results Boxing and Fitness. That's why we've been around now almost 5 years, and we just renewed our lease for 10. We're bigger. We're better. We're grateful. We're very, very grateful to be where we are, doing what we do, especially being here today with you. You know, I appreciate
I appreciate you too. You know? And where can we'll wrap it up here? Where can people find you?
It's so easy everywhere at Results Boxing, right? So if you go to Instagram at Results Boxing, Facebook at Results Boxing, resultsboxing.com. We have a YouTube channel as well that we're just starting to kind of put together and build so that we can help everybody out there who needs more help.
Great.
But yeah, just stop by the mall and pop in like you did, and we're happy to be standing there with a smile and welcome you. So come check us out.
And I'll put all your information on the YouTube and wherever the podcast is going to be displayed so people can find you. Well, I appreciate you. And
thank you so much, man. I'm so happy to be here. I'm grateful for your time and to be able to share our experience with others. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks.